I ain't been broke in a minute. I'm tryna run these digits. Put my little bro in the penny. We hop at the car with extensions. These niggas be pistols, they switching. Playing with bro, then you go on the mission. Me and my niggas, we all on the mission. Focus on money, ain't worried about bitches.
All right, y'all, so in this one, we'll be going over solo carry in the game from the jungle. Now, as you can see, I chose carry here. Now, one of the reasons is they left carry open. Like, this was one of the first picks. I was one of the first to pick, but their team is a little tanky, you know, not nothing crazy, but I just didn't want the enemies to have carry. Now, one thing that you'll often hear is, oh, carry may not be the best in the jungle right now. Carry's not good in the jungle right now. That doesn't matter when you're playing solo. So what happens is people like to apply 5-man logic, and not just regular 5-man logic, but top tier 5-man logic to low elo games. It doesn't make sense. Now I'm a mythic, but that's still low elo. At the point, like, I would argue that even like 100+ stars is still low elo, because the standard people set is usually for pro play. So the pick works, basically, is what I'm saying. The pick works because you're not playing against pro players. You're not going to get countered. They're not going to understand what they're doing. But as you can see, the rotations, we started red buff, we went purple, then we went the top creep, we went and we secured the little scuttle. Now we're farming the enemy's jungle. We're going to take a little bit of the enemy's jungle. I'm trying to see if I can get a gank, get a kill, but the tank backed off. Now I'm like, what you got to understand is you want to be invading as much as possible as a jungler. You want to be invading as much as possible because you're setting your enemies back. You're setting them back because they're not getting that farm, and you're putting yourself ahead because you are getting that farm. And that's where the gold gap starts to come from. The more you're spending your time doing this, the further behind they're getting, the more ahead that you're getting. So as you can see, he came and saved his marksman, but he still gave me a kill. So I didn't care which one of them went down. Somebody was going down. Now we're getting right back in the jungle, straight back to jungling. You want to be jungling, especially on a marksman. I know late game I can carry because this is a marksman, but you want to be jungling as much as possible. You want to be getting as much farm as possible. And then as you can see, I'm just going straight for the, I'm still going for my buffs. I'm not prioritizing turtle right now because the enemies aren't really on it. So it's fine. It's not that much of a priority. And also, I don't know if I wanted to actually, they got vision. People that was here with me, they went and got vision. So that made me confident to do it. Cause really, I don't try to go for objectives too much in solos, to be honest. I don't try to secure objectives. It depends on the team. And as you can see, it's tied right now. You can't really tell. You can't really tell where they are. He should have died. He should have died. You can't really tell how good the enemies are. Usually that's just a bad idea. So I focus on the macro. I focus on just, you know, really getting as much farm as possible, staying in the jungle, and then ganking people. That's really how I win games, and pushing towers. Because I push a lot of towers because that's something that your teammates doesn't tend to do too often. So yeah, as you can see, the top lane is losing already, but I'm trying to go mid lane and support my team. As you can see, we're fed. We're sitting good right now. And now we're gonna take this mid tower. Well, I'm trying to go for the mid tower. Lancelot's annoying. He's being super annoying. He thought he was getting away. So yeah, I knew a big engagement was about to go down here, so I came mid to help with that. I saw Layla still up top, and that was a free kill, but my team I was more needed in that fight that just took place right there. So yeah, that was the first big fight that we had of the game, and we did pretty well. Like, we did really good right there. Now I'm back in the jungle. Like I said, jungle as much as possible. I'm ignoring the turtle because the team is not even up ready for that. None of that. The enemy team is already up. There's no point in going for that turtle. We weren't going to secure that, so I just ignored that one. And now I see Layla up there. So I mean, Layla stopped pushing. So I'm just farming. Your boy is just farming. Now I'm finna push this lane because we need these lanes in our favor for sure. Destroyed the Layla. I don't know what she thought she was doing. Now focusing on the pushing. The push is very, very important. Now in a 5-man, you're not going to see a jungler pushing this much. but this is not a 5-man. You have to play solos differently than you would play a 5-man. That's crazy. Mans keep throwing me. The jawhead keeps freaking escaping. But yeah, like, you're gonna be doing a lot of pushing. It doesn't really matter your role. When you're playing solo, you should be doing a lot of pushing, because solo players just don't push. It's like, that's the whole objective of the game, but they don't push, man. So you want to be farming and pushing. That's really it. Look at this guy. Like, what was he thinking? Like what was his strategy there? And I knew he couldn't escape because he had used his escape to basically engage on me by himself. Like, that's something you never want to do as a tank, freaking engage a damage dealer by yourself. It was no help anywhere near him. None. Look at them. I tried to harass them. But yeah, I knew we had control. We're dominating right now. We're not really dominating, but they didn't want the smoke. I could tell they really didn't want to fight us, which they really shouldn't, because I'm actually kind of fair right now. Sheesh. Yeah. Now I'm getting back to farming. Like, you can't let up on the farm, man. You can't let up. I'm going to take some of their farm, put them further behind, then push this lane so we can get a little bit more pressure there. And then I'm gonna try to take the tower too. So yeah, they cleared that. I'm just trying to make plays. I try to, like, any opportunity to push, I do it. I take advantage of that opportunity. Look at this, bro. I still took one down, but yeah, the enemy team just came out. They still pushing mad aggressively, like they're not that far behind right now, which they kind of are. Like, well, actually they're not. That's crazy. Let me go back to the stats. Let's look at the stats for a second. So I got 9.4 thousand gold. Layla's actually not too far behind. So, but I'm the most fed, and yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would be playing that aggressive if I was the other team, but I mean, they're not crazy far behind. It's not, it's not a crazy deficit. But yeah, it's really simple, man. You just rotate in between the jungles. You jungle as much as possible. You push the towers as much as possible. So you have to understand the differences and nuance to how you can play, even the picks that you can use as well, because certain picks change. Now we're gonna be talking about, like, if you are a strong one trick, or you can play a certain hero in a strong way where you even want to fit that into 5-mans. There's ways to go about doing that too. Like, there's so many different ways you can approach the game. Like, that's what I love about MOBAs. But part of what complicates my love for MOBAs when I play Mobile Legends is that people don't think about the game in the way that I think about it, which is what makes me love MOBAs in the first place. It's like, that pick's not meta. But if that pick's not meta, but this person who plays that pick is good enough to make that pick dangerous, why not use meta picks to enhance your teammate who's good on a non-meta pick? Because if that person is really that dominant, you using picks that enhances that person's pick, that could make the whole difference, because nobody is going to be prepared for what your teammate uses, because who the heck practices that? So it's like, people don't realize this is a game of chess. It's like all about strategy and outthinking. Everyone just wants to play the same flashy heroes, be the exact same way, and it's just, it's weird, man. It's weird. You have to think outside the box. You have to think for yourself. That's very, very important when you're playing MOBAs, man. You have to think for yourself. Never get so good that you think that you don't need to, that you don't need to change. You don't need to keep growing. You don't need to keep improving, man. Like, I said it before. I used to be a semi-pro in Call of Duty. Back then, I learned a lot of good tricks from bums, like from people in just regular casual lobbies. No, we weren't going up in a tournament. We wasn't in a ranked game or game battles, none of that. It was none of that. I learned a lot from just regular casual matches, and they used to do weird stuff, like throw grenades over buildings. Like, they used to just practice weird stuff like throwing grenades over buildings. But now you fast forward today, you see people doing these tricky grenade throws, and it's a part of competitive gaming because it's really a good technique. But no pro would have ever figured that out. Who's sitting around doing weird stuff like that? No one is doing that except for randoms. So that's why randoms can help you elevate your game. You have to stop trying to just copy and think like pros. Sometimes you can see something that a random does and it's so good that you know it'll work if you play it at a high level and you do it at a high level in the right way. But it's like in the Mobile Legends community, people don't think like that, where it's like, ooh, I could do something crazy that no one's gonna expect because it's like it came from a noob. It's like that was the ways that's the way that real competitive games is supposed to be played, man. And Mobile Legends can be so freaking competitive. It can be so good, but it's just so early on. It's so much ego. It's so much holding this game back from its full potential, man. And I just want to see the player base start to grow and really start to understand what it means to be competitive. I really want that to happen, man. I told my team to wait for Lord. Look at this. Like they go and they start dying. Like what are they doing? We got a whole Lord and it's wasted because they wanted to do something random, bro. Look at this. Like, so now I'm stuck fighting the enemies by myself. Like, this is crazy. So we wasted a whole Lord because, but yeah, like you gotta deal with stuff like that, bro. You gotta deal with stuff like that when you're playing with randoms because they be messing up your plays and not knowing what they doing. Look, I caught him lacking. Look at that. He ran. He got out of there. I baited that, man. Look at that. So luckily we could come back and put pressure on him and do some damage without Lord at all. But yeah, that was crazy. That was really crazy, man. So yeah, as you can see, man, we come out, we pull the W. As you can see, Mythic 6. MVP again. Let's look at the stats, see what we got. Let me see. Oh, it skipped. What? It skipped. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I guess we'll just end it there, man. So as you can see, very good game. Nice rotations, a lot of pressure on towers, ganking the right people at the right times, being the perfect mixture of being in the mix and attacking with a lot of jungling and farming as well. And it's like I said, this is a mindset game. So you have to understand when and how to adjust your mindset. If you're a solo player, you have to adapt and be able to play the game in a way where a solo player needs to play it. Like if you see that your team is not pushing towers, which most randoms don't, you have to push towers a lot more, which means you have to know how to farm, add in pushing towers to your rotation, all of this stuff, man. You have to know how to invade and how to do it safely. Use a pick where you can invade safely to put the enemy's jungler behind, because you don't know how good the enemy's team is going to be. So you have to put them behind. Like either way, you got to put them behind, but you have to be able to do it safely when you're playing solo. It's so much you have to understand when you're a solo jungler. But yeah, let me know what you all think. We'll have a lot more videos coming soon covering these type of topics, but that's pretty much it, y'all. Drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out, fam.